Welcome to Elevated Women, the podcast where energetics meets strategy and wealth becomes who you are. I'm your host, Myra, subconscious reprogramming master, energetics mentor, multi-seven-figure coach, and Brain's 500 global honoree for my work in conscious business leadership. This space is your portal, a frequency upgrade for the woman who's done shrinking and ready to claim everything she came for. Let's melt the old patterns, rewire your money story, and build a wildly aligned business from your highest self. This is your next evolution. Let's begin. You're listening to Elevated Table Talks. These are the unfiltered conversations with women who build from soul, scale with clarity, and move with purpose. Welcome back to Elevated Table Talks. Today I'm joined by Becky Cohen, an incredible human design strategist who brings a powerful, fresh lens on the intersection of energetics and business. Becky helps entrepreneurs understand how their unique human design can become the missing link between strategy and alignment, shifting them out of performance pressure and into building success on their own energetic terms. This is the second time that we're attempting to actually record this podcast. So welcome back so much again, Becky, I'm so grateful for having you here. Again, thank you for the second time. Hopefully the second time is the charm. So for those of you listening, we had this conversation a while back and the recording was corrupted or disappeared or something, and we're back to do this again. So Becky, let me ask you this before we dive into human design. Can you share a little about your journey and what led you to do this work?
Yeah, for sure. So basically, I was in corporate for over 15 years, and I was really good at my job. I was really successful. On paper, it looked like I had everything going for me, earning high six figures from a very young age, very much a high achiever, but inside my soul was dead. And I was very much a spiritual child. I was into everything spiritual all the time. But during that time at corporate, I was always wearing that mask of who I really was and just playing the game. So it was always about chasing success on the outside, and slowly over time, I went through very much, all the different consulting gigs. I was in project management, working multi-million-dollar programs of work, and I was in a lot of toxic environments and saw the most disgusting behaviors, to be honest with you, as time went on. And over time, what happens is you don't even realize how much you lose yourself when you're pretending for so long to be somebody that you're not, and really playing the game. And all of us, whatever we do, especially in our younger ages, we're always wearing masks. And, it's always, I felt like I was in the closet with my spirituality. I knew I was gay from a younger age. I was hiding that from the world. I was, found out that I had ADHD from a young age. I was hiding that because that's not what high performance people actually have in their, all of it, everything about me was being hidden and playing a different role. And, everyone gets the sign. Somehow I always say, you either get tickled with a feather or punched in the face by the universe when you're supposed to, take a different turn. And for me, it was complete burnout and losing myself along the way. And you see how your relationships change. And I always knew deep down that I was here for more, I was, meant for a bigger purpose. I had a bigger mission, but didn't know what it was, and thought, if I ever knew what that was, I would just jump in and do it. And I was always asking for clarity, and really heard it one day when I was so burnt out and realizing that something needed to change, that it wasn't going to hit me until I went deep within and did the work internally to do the transformation of myself. And it was time to really get back into spirituality, get really back into the personal development space and work on myself. And then COVID hit, and all of a sudden, all of my friends started losing their jobs. They were being bullied out. And I realized it was my time to step up and help them. So what I did was I created what we called a whinge and wine session on Friday night when we were all in lockdown, or grabbed a glass of wine and started talking about things. And I always had these spiritual downloads intuitively, with the project management side on business ideas and how to help people. And so I started connecting these women and finding their gifts and figuring out what they could do next in this time when they didn't have work. And I was like, oh, wow, it's finally coming together. This is what I'm really meant to do. So I started doing my coaching certificate while I was still working, and I just realized one day that I had a plan to exit, the whole strategy on how I was going to do it, and realized, oh, I'm just going to jump ship and see what happens. And because I just couldn't handle it anymore. And 5.5 years later, here we are. So that's how the journey started. And yeah, it was, it's definitely, for anyone listening out there, finding your purpose is really a missing link that we think sometimes is more of a luxury, or, when we're in survival mode, we're always thinking about what we have to do right now to survive or to be successful. And really, I honestly believe that purpose is everything to living in fulfillment and alignment. So that was my journey to get there. Yeah.
That is such a beautiful journey. And I love how you share. This episode is definitely already starting off to be better than the first one. I love how you share how you were in the closet with being gay and having ADHD and your spirituality. So you really created a completely different persona for yourself while you were working there. And I can so relate to that because I come from the corporate world myself, and ran many boardroom meetings. And you create this persona. I created this persona and I write about it in my book that I'm writing that'll probably come out in 10 years from now. Or it feels like that at this point. But I created this persona to fit in, and those days back, it was still very much the corporate male orientated field. Okay. The boardrooms were filled with men, old men. And I had to create a persona to fit into that that identity and into that space. And I know exactly what you mean. I felt eventually I also reached the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. I just didn't want to. I just one night sat down and thought to myself, you know what? Is this really what my life has become? I don't see my daughter. She was a teenager at that stage. She's practically raising herself. My husband and I were living past each other. So, yes, it was terrible. And then I just said to my husband, you know what? I can't do this anymore. And he said, so what do you want to do? And I said to him, I just want to leave South Africa. I don't want to even be in South Africa anymore. I want to leave and I want to start fresh. And so we just made work of it and we left. We sold everything we owned, sold the businesses, sold everything, packed up, and 2 suitcases and a laptop bag later, we left 3 months later for Thailand. And we lived in Thailand for 10 years, and that's how I ended up coaching. So yeah, I know exactly how you feel. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was alive again. So thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, ladies. This is critically important when you're listening to this. Don't hide who you are. This online space is so beautiful. This online coaching space is so beautiful. Here you can get paid to just be who you really are. And be who you are. Don't shy away from who you are. Don't think I'm not good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I'm too old or too young, or whatever it is. Learn from Becky and myself. Don't do that. Get paid for who you are.
Love it.
Next question, Becky. You often describe human design as the missing link between energetics and strategy. What does that mean for entrepreneurs building a business today?
Huge question. And honestly, it's interesting because I landed on human design a couple of years or maybe a year into when I started coaching. And really that whole identity piece is everything. When we're starting a business, we want to know the how and the what, How am I going to get there? What am I going to do? but you need to take a zoom out step back, because we're constantly in the how is strategy, the how and what is strategy. So we go externally looking for all the gurus, looking for all those things because it worked for somebody else, but they're not really telling you the backstory. They just wake up and all this money's coming into their bank account and you just think, they've made it. And okay, maybe the 1% may get there like that. I won't say that it's for like everyone doesn't, but you don't know their backstory of how long it took to get there, right? And the missing link, I used to think is just finding your why. But when human design came in, it was the who, and not just who you serve. When you're thinking about always like, who's your perfect avatar, or that, you've got to take a step back from that, because the who is you. Who are you? And for so long, we are, like we said, masking of the identity, not being authentically ourselves. And business will not happen when you keep playing that persona or trying things that other people did to find your identity. And human design is your unique soul's blueprint. It tells you everything about who you're perfectly designed to be in this human, in this lifetime. All the codes are there, how to actually crack the codes of your life purpose, your unique gifts you're meant to share with the world, even how your energy works. It's so important. Like your human design type really gives you everything about, people talk about it as like how not to burn out being optimal energy. But that is everything when you're starting a business, because when you can build a business around your energetic way of being in the world, that's your blueprint for how your business model should be designed around you. We should be creating a business around who you are versus what's going to be or how it's going to be successful out there. And that's the key to everything to make a business work. So that's really, for me, the most powerful modality we've got right now to be able to help us with that work. And then find the right strategy that works around that.
I love that, because most of us build a business, and I'm guilty of this too. When I left the corporate world and we sold everything, I did the same thing. I used my knowledge to build my coaching business. And then a couple of years in, and I hate this. I don't want this anymore. So again, I made the same mistake. I used, like you said, everything outside of me to build my business. And again, I felt like, I hate this. I don't want this. This is not who I am. So yes, it's critically important for you to find out who you are. And that's why I love this conversation with Becky, because it really shows you that everything you need to do needs to come from inside. Many women listening have been taught to equate success with pushing harder. What does it look like to lead from alignment rather than performance?
Well, it's a huge question, and it's on the back of what we were just talking about now. So we have an image of success out there, what that looks like, hustling. If you do more, you'll be more successful, consistently show up on social media, otherwise you won't make it. All those things out there, and very masculine strategy, the bro marketing, all those kinds of things out there that are teaching us in a way that is not in alignment. And I really believe we're really coming into you see it out there, the new ways of work. But there's more than that. We're evolving as human beings on the planet right now and awakening. And, whether you align with the age of Aquarius and the feminine energy coming in, or whether you're into human design, and sorry, my voice breaking. But, with human design, we've got 2027 is going to be a massive shift. If you know about human design, we're entering a new era. And with all of that, it's that whole tribal survive or be something within the tribe. You have to be, play your part, or you're out of the tribe feeling. That's very masculine energy is waning away. And what's really coming up right now is people want authenticity. People want that connection. We've lost that in the world, right? So success is really based on, it's a personal journey. There's no, all the marketing out there, get your 7 or 8 figure business, now 9-figure businesses. That's what people are promoting in order to be success. That next step, which is so unattainable from where you are, but not everyone wants that. And it's being really real with yourself. What do you want? Some people want the lifestyle and the freedom, and it's basically, enough money to get by, but it's not about the money. Some people, it's about helping a certain number of people within their lifetime. You've got to get really clear on not what success is from the outside. Otherwise, you're a failure in your business. It's more about what lifestyle do you want and what impact do you want to have. And all of it's correct. All of it. It's, and it's very different for me. I used to earn a lot of money in the corporate world. I don't need all of that right now. I've bought the houses, I've traveled everywhere, and there's still travel, but I've got freedom in my life, and freedom is to me working 4 hours a day and being okay with it. I don't need to work the 10, 12 hours a day to have a successful business. And then I still have time for the people that matter to me. I've got time to actually go more into my personal development. And I've still got the money coming in that I need to, in order to not just survive, but to be able to have the life that I want. So I'm actually doing less and getting more out of it, and knowing every day that what I'm working towards not only just fills my heart every day, and I love to do what I do, but the people that I'm working with and the selective people that I'm working with, because I'm not here for everybody. Those interactions are just breakthroughs for other people, and it fills my soul, and I know I'm having an impact. So that's success to me, and it's going to be different for everyone.
There's something that you said that it's critically important. You're not here for everyone. I see it so often with my clients. They believe that they need to try and save everyone in the world, especially women who works with their energy that are spiritual. They believe that they're here to save everyone. And it's so true what you said. You're not here for everyone. And we need to let go of this savior complex that women have. And stop saving the world. Save the people that you aligned with. Work with the people that you align with. I am very picky these days. I very much only work with the people that I want to work with. And I am not there for everyone. I am not everyone's coach in any way. Not everyone likes this personality. I'm too straightforward for that.
But it's great, right? That's also in that. I just wanted to add, because it was a great segue, is that when you think that you're not enough, then you're going to be working out of scarcity, thinking that you have to say yes to every opportunity in order to have that business. You can't turn people away or whatever that is. But really, the way the universe works, there is enough for everybody here, and there is so long. So if you can tap into your part of the market, your share, your people, there's plenty. And know that if you're doing a service by saying, hey, I might not be the right coach for you, but over there's somebody that I know that may be aligned, and do that service, pay forward, give it to somebody else, because at the end of the day, if we all knew that we could actually help and collaborate, and there would be more than enough to go around. And that's part of building other people's success, is part of your own success journey as well.
So true. I love how you stated that. How can understanding your human design help entrepreneurs redefine wealth and success on their own terms? We've touched a little bit on that.
Yeah. So if we go deeper into the human design, honestly, okay, there's so many layers and so much complexity in it, but let's start with the basics, right? There are 5 different types in the world. So if you're brand new to human design, think of astrology. If it gets as big as astrology and somebody says, hey, what's your star sign? Whether you believe in it or not, it, right? And you can say what it is. Human design, that's the equivalent of the types, and there's only 5. And so basically, if you think about, each one of them has a purpose, and it's designed around how they're energetically meant to move through the world. And this is where energy becomes really important around that. So when we start with, there's one that's called the manifestor, and there's only 9 or 10% in the world. And really, they're the visionaries of the world. If you think of, Apple, or those big things, those visionaries who come in, and probably the first time that Steve Jobs even mentioned, I'm going to build this phone that becomes your life, and it's a smartphone, and we're still dialing the old ones, around, thinking this guy's off the charts. So you can think that he's crazy, but then, maybe a small percentage of people see what they're about and get on the train of Steve Jobs, but it's not yet for the world. The visionaries are here to see out there of something that's they're meant to bring to the world. So you can understand why there's so very little of them. There's 9% are the manifestors. So they're here to start the vision. They've got a lot of starter energy because they're always excited about that new idea. but they never see things through. So this is when it's time to know that if that's you, what business model can you actually build around that visionary energy where you can go in and be the crazy professor and create more yourself, and then go out to the world and go, hey, I've got this thing. Now, this thing is you're meant to get the generators excited. Who are the generators? They're the most dominant on the planet. There's about 37%, and they've got this life force energy. They're here to do work that they love and feel satisfied with that work. So when they align with the visionary, they come out and go, oh my gosh, I would love to work with this guy. I'll build that for you. They're the builders, right? They have all, like you think about it, generators, they're like the Energizer bunny. They can go and they can go and they can go, but only with the work that they love to do. Otherwise, they're going to burn out from fear and, frustration. Right. So then you've got the Energizer bunnies like actually working away, and then comes in the manifesting generators, and we go, we're the fastest on the planet. We're part manifestor, part generator. So we actually got the vision and the build, but we go, you know what? This is brilliant. I love this. I'm aligned to this. But you know what? I can make it even better. I'm going to innovate, and I'm going to make it even faster. I'm going to create something that gets people there quicker. So we come in and innovate this idea. So we've got 34% on the planet, and they're the fastest moving, the most energetic out of every type. Then you got the projectors who come in 20% of the world, and they're the guides and the teachers of the world. So they're here to actually come in and go, you know what? I'm going to help you get there to the end of the project. I'm going to guide you with my wisdom. I'm going to show you what is able to do, but I don't have the energy like you guys. I'm here to come in. I'm here to guide. I'm here to teach you. And then you go in back and build and create the energy. So they step in, they guide, and then they move out. And then the final ones are the reflectors, 1% of the world. They are the most rare type, and if you can get one in your field, they are gold. But they're basically, reflectors are so open in their energy that they're like what a reflector is a mirror. So they're coming to actually reflect back to you the health of what is going on within a community, within a project. They can see the good, the bad, and basically all they need to do is show up and be like the health check or guidance of how we're doing here. And then in that, you'll reflect back on what needs to actually change or be better, and it's also about the health of the people in the community to keep them sustained. So that's how on the soul level, it actually works with these 5 types. And you can see it's a beautiful ecosystem.
I can see that. Now let's talk about this. I'm a manifesting generator. Let's talk a little bit. Okay, great. Well, let's talk a little bit more about those. I want to find out a little bit more. Sorry, ladies, we don't have enough time to go into detail in everyone. But if you want to find out who you are and more about yourself, book a call with Becky. So let's get back to that. Talk to me about manifesting generators. What is good and bad for us in business?
Well, everything just is. There's no good and bad. The beautiful thing about human design really is that we accept the parts of the whole of who we are. And the most beautiful gift of human design is to really understand and accept it. It's all as how your human is designed this lifetime. But with everything like in life, and being human, there's duality, let's put it that way. So there's the higher expression and the more challenged. But one, you can accept that you're supposed to experience both, but there's the higher aspect waiting for you when you get through the challenge. I guess if you want to step through to the other side is more how I'd frame it. And also be your listeners out there, if you're really curious right now about human design, my favorite app to go on to free to actually have a look at your personal chart is www.mybodygraph.com. And you can put in your birth details and you can find out about your type and your human design there as well. So the manifesting generators are, like I was saying, the fastest moving on the planet. They have so much energy and they're multi-passionate and they can do multiple things, and to keep them stimulated, they need to have a number of projects on the go. They will probably do, I don't know, something like it's while they're in business and maybe studying engineering, go, you know what, I'm going to offset this with an astrology course, or, and then I'm going to be selling something in my e-commerce store. So they'll be doing multiple things and doing it well. For people who are on the outside looking in, and this is my biggest irk also in business, is when they say, you need to choose one thing. Just focus on one thing. It is my biggest irk. And I know that's when they're trying to tell you who you are and what you need to do to be successful, it is the biggest gripe of a manifesting generator that don't tell me what I can and can't do. I know what I can and can't do. So that we're a bit rebellious in that way. Like for me, when I was starting with business also, and externally listen to all the gurus, you have to be consistent on social media. You must go live once a week. You have to do it. And I used to look at them and go, I know there's got to be another way. Like we're kind of here to break the mold. Like when we say process improve, and it's not for everyone, it's also just to say there's got to be another way because this isn't me. And people telling you how you have to be is the biggest thing, like it, right? So when we're in alignment, everything is about satisfaction. Like the generators, we have the satisfaction part, but we're also part manifestors. So we also want peace. So the two of those things together is what when we're in alignment, we feel peace in our environment, peace to create, like being in our space to create. But we've got the satisfaction. We need to love what we do on steroids, what lights us up. When we don't, and we start listening to all those other people out there and go against what lights us up, we end up in a ball of frustration. Impatience is really another thing, is when people can't keep up with us because we're so quick, we start to get very impatient. And that's the way that, yeah, right? Impatience comes in. But that's the key to falling out of alignment more and more, is also how we start to feel like we're burning out. That's the first signal to the point of complete burnout for a manifesting generator. So we're really here to also, because we're quick, I was saying it's process improvement, we generally skip a lot of steps. We kind of get bored with things. Bored is another thing. Bored is getting into frustration, you know? So we think, oh my God, there's too many steps. I can do this quicker. And sometimes what we might do is skip too many steps and have to redo something. But that's part of our process. People out there let us do that because it's the way that we actually learn to get quicker. We might look like we're getting frustrated in the process, but we need to be able to do that, because when we come out the other side, we come back to the world and go, hey, we've just created a much better way to do this for you and I. Like, check this out. That's what we're here for.
I love that. I know that I'm working on several projects. I think I've got about 7 or 8 right now.
Yeah.
And I love it. My daughter always says, Mommy, you know what? For a person with ADHD, that is horrible. She looks at my computer and I've got all these windows open and I'm working in all of them and I know what's going on. And I just love it. I have to have my creativity going all the time. So thank you for sharing that. Last question is, do you have an example or story of a client who completely shifted their business results once they began honoring their human design?
Yeah, I've got quite a few. And honestly, I'm going to speak to the projectors out there, because projectors and manifestors in particular, but listen to this for the projectors, is the thing with projectors is they try to keep up with the manifestors, generators, and the generators, because their whole thing to be in alignment is success. And so what they look out for externally for success, like we were talking about, keeping up with the Joneses, the cars, the status, the energy to be able to work those crazy hours as well, to be able to get there. Now, projectors are the guides and the teachers of the world. They're meant to lead. Lead is not doing it, building, right? So what the thing is that they're often misunderstood a lot of the time, that if you're not a generator or manifesting generator, you're in the minority, whatever it is. So they grow up feeling very misunderstood. Energetically, they may not fit in specifically with people. And so working with projectors in particular, because they are the leaders, is for really penetrating through and to be able to see the type of leader they're meant to be and how to guide them into stop building and to start being who they are, and then they'll become successful. One of my clients that I've worked with on and off for over the years, she honestly could not hold down a job for that long because of being misunderstood, for wanting to be that leader, for wanting to be successful all the time, but knowing she wasn't in the right environment. And when she started to really understand the who first of who she truly was, it was almost seeing how emotional she got of the self-acceptance, that somebody really understood her to a soul level, that she could then understand that she needed to protect herself in the environment she was in, and she could finally find her purpose. And she stepped out of that and learning that she was meant to start coaching girls through all the pains and traumas that she went through in her teenhood, and to be able to help them to accept them who they are for themselves as well. So that was a process of getting her out of all those failed jobs instead of looking for the next one, the next, and to be able to stop and really figure out who she was and to start building a coaching business on the side. So yeah, she's a great example.
That's a beautiful example. I love that example. So many times when we are in a career that you are not, that you don't belong in, and you and I both have been there, you start feeling like there's something wrong with you.
Mm.
And it's very difficult to get out of that. There's something wrong with me feeling because I don't fit. And it's really, really difficult. So I'm so glad that you shared that example, because it's a beautiful example of how life can actually change. And what she is doing now, even if it's on the sideline, is beautiful, helping teen girls accepting themselves for who they are, because it's so, so needed. Okay, so you've got a freebie or two that you want to give to the listeners. Can you quickly tell us about them?
Yep. So I've got two. One is all, of course, if you're curious about human design, to go deeper into your type. I've got one freebie that's a guidebook out there for you to be able to do that. Once you get your chart, you'll be able to, and I've got all the details in there. You can put it in and then read more about your type and really start journaling on some of the things to understand, to be able to align with that energy and your strategies, and to become more into who you're meant to be and who you're designed to be. And the second one is, no, probably all of your listeners out there probably aren't business owners, but I've got what's called an aligned business health check. So it will go through the different parts of your business, which I really believe 80% of your business should actually be more on your energetics and your mindset work. And then from that, we can find 20% of the strategy that works around your design. So you can go through that and we can see where you're out of alignment with your business. Take that with your human design, and you can book a free 30-minute session with me where we actually look into those components together. Anyone can book a 30-minute session with me. It's on the back of those, the freebies anyway. But if you're curious about your human design, we'll deep dive into that and look into your business as well, and go through the checklist a bit as well as your design and so what's out of alignment.
Beautiful. Ladies, the link for that will be in the show notes. So go grab those two freebies. I'm sure for my listeners who are all business owners, they would love to have both, because I think both of them are equally important. So understanding yourself and then understanding yourself in your business is great. And I'm going to grab those two freebies for myself as well. Okay, so I have a quick fire round that I want to take you through. Give me the first answer that comes to mind. I love doing this with every single woman that I interview on this podcast.
Yeah.
Current favorite practice that instantly brings you back into alignment?
Oh, so that's definitely with human design. We've got something that's called our strategy and our authority, which means how to make the correct aligned decisions for you. And for manifesting generators, this is like what I fell in love with human design, and it's basically knowing how to align with my sacral. It's your firing ability that either tells you it's a hell yes or a hell no for something before your mind kicks in. So always checking in just to see if it's the right thing that's in alignment for me in life. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Next one book or resource that deeply influenced your journey with human design and business?
So many. But I'm going to say for those out there, actually it's an offset. It's called The Gene Keys by Richard Rudd, where you can really go deep into all the codes, if you like it's the 64 gates of human design, but it's a brilliant one for those out there. Yep.
Great, thank you. What does wealth mean to you in this season of your life?
Oh, well, we kind of touched on it before, and to me, it's more about freedom and impact, having impact for people, having the freedom to live the life that I want, and being surrounded by the right people that I want to work with as well. So, yeah, and doing what I love.
Great. If you could give every entrepreneur one reminder about alignment, what would it be?
one reminder, honestly, dive into your human design and really just look at the basics of your strategy and authority and how to align to make the best decisions for yourself, as well as your high frequency you can find through your signature. That's everything.
Okay.
Yep.
Last one. There is another one that I wanted to ask, but we've covered that already, so I'm not going to ask it. The last one is, what does it mean to be an elevated woman for you?
It's everything's really just to be yourself, like to really own and accept who you are and give that to the world, like really step into your power of your authenticity. That's everything. Find your self-expression and give it to the world.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love asking the woman that comes on the interview this question, and every single person has or woman has had a different answer. So I really, really like it. Becky, thank you so much for such a rich, expansive experience and conversation. You've given us so much to reflect on when it comes to weaving energetics and strategy through the lens of human design. To everyone listening, I hope this conversation sparked something in you and created some clarity for you around who you are or who you should be. If it has sparked that interest in you, go grab those freebies, book that call with Becky, and find out a little bit more about yourself and where to go. And if you're ready to go deeper, definitely go and do that with her. Work deeper with her on this and see where it takes you. Share this episode with someone else that you know that needs to hear this, and or post something about this on your Instagram stories and tag both of us. Thank you so much, Becky. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. It's great being here again.
You're welcome. Until next time, stay elevated. Thank you for tuning into Elevated Woman. If today's episode activated something in you, share it, tag me, or come say hi in the DMs. And if you're ready to go deeper, head to myraswankotze.com to grab your free gift or explore the offers aligned with your next level. Until next time, own your power, claim your wealth, and rise as the elevated woman you came here to be.